Hello, my name is James Flores, and I'm here today at St Kilda Presbyterian Church with
Paul Smith.
Paul Smith. How are you, Paul?
And I think we've just met for the first time.
Yeah, thank you.
Actually, I've heard your name and seen you on the internet screen many times.
Yes.
But not nice to meet you in person.
Thank you for inviting me to play this organ, which you can't see right now, but we'll put some footage
We'll
in
surely
between.
show you some footage and some recording in due course.
Yes. So
definitely.
can you tell me about? Let's go to the bad news before the good news. So tell me about the situation here.
Well, the bad news is that a wonderful heritage building like this, built in 1885, is this is happening with quite a lot of heritage properties where they're becoming very expensive to maintain and insure. Mm-hmm. And the insurance, as many people would know now, it's been on the news, that it's just going up, skyrocketing. And our insurance went up about 61% last year during 2023. Mm-hmm. So that's just more than a small congregation can manage. So they've said that they will put the building up for sale. We have a heritage listed instrument here, 1892 Fincherman Hobday, 3-manual 31-stop organ, and it must be preserved. Now, if someone buys the building and doesn't want the organ, we must find a home for it.
Yes.
That's law.
It's a shame
Heritage.
It's a shame that you can't just literally pull it out and pull it somewhere else. It's quite a process involved in it, but I've just spent a good part of an hour playing it, and it's a very lovely instrument. It's very warm, typical of the time period it was built in.
Yes, well, Hobday's voicing was recognised as being quite good in that period.
Yeah. Very luscious, lot of foundations. The strings are lovely on it. Of course, we've got the clarinet on the choir, which is lovely. It's quite a versatile instrument. It's not loud and brazen in your face, but it's quite enveloping, I would say.
Well-rounded and very pleasant.
Well-rounded, yeah.
And very well suits the acoustics of this building.
Yes.
Because it was designed for here. There was another organ before it, an Anderson instrument, up in the rear of the church. And then in 1892, they put this one in here. So it was built for this location. Mm-hmm. And so it suits it very well.
It's got a lovely facade as well.
Yes.
Are they speaking pipes?
Yes, they are.
Yeah.
I'll just have to look up Jeremy's notes. Jeremy Smith, our organ tuner, I have to look up his notes to see which stop they are on the facade there.
It might be one of the diapasons.
Quite likely, yes. I just can't remember exactly which one. So yes, that's the bad news, that the organ should be preserved, but the congregation can't manage the costs of the building. Mm-hmm. An ideal situation would be another church or another interested entity would be able to make this building useful to the community, mm-hmm. sort of honouring the name of God that it was built for, mm-hmm. and have a way of adjusting to the community so that it's pleasant for people to come in here and perhaps stay. And there's been a few architects come up with ideas of what you could do in here, whether there could be coffee, food, concerts, all sorts of things, combined with perhaps church use and other uses during the week.
And you've got, well, that's your grand piano, but there's a grand piano in here.
There is, yes. The team of pianists have been here.
Yep.
And we have had a couple of other little concerts.
And it's not just, it's quite a nice acoustic in here. It's not fully carpeted. It's only carpeted around the aisles.
Yes. We even have the sound effects of motorbikes too.
Yes, we've had to stop for a bit of recordings, but it's unavoidable, right on the corner there.
Of two busy streets, yes. And this is busy St Kilda.
Busy St Kilda.
But we have a lot of apartment dwellers and people nearby, and it'd be lovely if we could kind of do something that would serve the community, but we'll wait and see.
The ceiling's really tall.
Oh, yes, yes.
It's a lot of space for this organ
It's
speaking.
three gable architecture. I guess we can show you some pictures.
We'll get the drone out.
Yeah. Inside?
We'll get it inside,
yeah.
Will insurance cover that?
So, probably better be careful.
It won't damage anything. It's tiny. So hopefully, like, the best case scenario is that this goes to a place where it'll actually be used.
Ideally.
Yeah,
Yeah.
ideally. And hopefully with this video and this recording, some interested parties might get in contact.
Well, that would be nice.
Yeah.
And you can easily reach out to the St Kilda Presbyterian Church, and
Yeah.
it's easily found on the internet. St Kilda, let me see, stkildapc.org.
Yes, we'll put a link in the description.
We can.
Yes. And I suppose all the pipe work is fine. You know, it speaks and it works really well.
Yes, and it's all very original and nicely painted, and with the diapering or stenciling, and
the console, it works. The console's fine. It is a product of its time, though. The old electronics, but everything is not as. It's actually in good condition for the age that it's in. But if it were to move, it'd probably be a good opportunity to redo all those electronics.
Yes, that's the thought from people who've advised us.
Yeah.
The console is 1955. In fact, the seats where we are, we might be able to show you a picture of it, but the seats where you're sitting, you can see a little cutout, because the original pneumatic, tubular pneumatic console was just to the right of where you're sitting.
Okay.
And so it sat here, and the choir seats were differently arranged. There were some brass candle, what would you call them, candelabras on stands. And you can see that in an old photo. The Organ Historical Trust actually has a photo of that from the Fincham factory advertising of the time. So the original console was tubular pneumatic, and all the tubing went under the floor there. And then in 1955, it was turned into electro-pneumatic action, and the console is now where it is. And it was a new fit out by Fincham back then in 1955.
You can hear the action. It is a little bit loud.
Well, yes, it hasn't been done up since 1955, so the solenoids and the pallets and things inside the action there are quite noisy, and would all be done up again if the organ were to have a full refurbishment.
It does sit quite recessed into this little.
It is, yes.
I wonder if it would have
sort of buried in that chamber that was built for it.
Yeah. Wonder if in a new location you'd have more egress. Instead of being locked up in that kind of...
Yes, well, there are other locations where the organ is completely freestanding, and, you know, the technician can take the sides off the organ and have great access to all
It'd be a
the
nightmare
parts.
to go in there.
But that's quite a congested access for any technical work or repairs and tuning that has to be done. So
Jeremy
you need
likes
to be
that,
slim and athletic, I think, to be agile inside there.
Yes, so, thank you again for your time.
Okay.
To, on a whim, come down from Albury to St Kilda.
Well, I guess it's heading south.
It's heading south, yeah.
And I'm not sure what the altitude of Albury is compared to Melbourne. But
yes.
Good, James.
Yeah, and enjoy the footage that we have of the video and the sound of the organ. And if you have any questions, we'll leave some links in the description about how to get in touch.
For sure.
And stay up to date with what happens to this in the future.
Yes, and whatever the future, we certainly would like to hear some more
recordings.
And we'd like to produce more so that people can have an idea of what the instrument sounded like in this location, whether it stays or moves. Yeah. But we want to do that for good archival purposes.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, James.